Have you heard that? The price of the oil has gone up recently.
In fact, there are some potential dangers besides the economic burden of raising oil price.
Is it something to do with environmental protection?
Yes, the environmental pollution is serious now. I think we should look for some alternative energy to replace fossil energy.
Henan province has a lot of new energy vehicles. It is a very good example.
According to what you say, I think there are many advantages of alternative energy, but we don't know about it.
Yeah.
Why don't we divide our work and do some research?
Yeah, we can do an alternative energy sharing session.
This is me. I want to tell you something about wind power. As we all know, existing power sources of energy are three kinds: nuclear power, thermal power, and hydrogen power. Although there are many different sources of energy available, more than 3/4 of the energy used in developed countries come from oil, gas, and coal. On the one hand, the limited reserves of fossil fuels, the more burning, the less left, which is facing the danger of depletion. With economic development and social progress, people put forward higher requirements of energy. Find new energy sources become an urgent issue facing humanity. At this time, the use of wind energy appeared in people's sight. Steve Sawyer said, "Wind power is really the main supply-side technology that can make a difference in the short term to reduce emissions in the power sector." But why we choose wind energy? First of all, wind power can be used for distribute. But why we choose wind energy? First of all, wind power can be used for distributed generation. There is less risk of power generation facilities, for they are not concentrated together, and then it can lower damage to the land and ecological condition. What's more, it will improve countries' economic competitiveness and potential development. Finally, it can less air pollution and less carbon emissions and less environmental costs. But every coin has two sides. One of the ecological problems brought by the wind power generation is that wind turbines disturb the life of birds. And in some areas, wind power brings low economical efficiency. But every coin has two sides. One of the ecological problems brought by the wind power generation is that wind turbines disturb the life of birds. And in some areas, wind power brings low economical efficiency. In many areas, there is unstable wind. It needs a lot of land to build wind farms. Wind turbine noise is also a big problem.
Hello everyone, this is Mika. I want to introduce the solar energy to you. Now let's begin this. Solar energy, generally referring to the radiant energy of sunlight, is commonly used to generate electricity in modern times. Since the formation of the Earth, life has mainly relied on the heat and light provided by the sun to survive. Since ancient times, humans have also known to use the sun to dry objects and make some food, such as the salt and salting fish. But it is only with the decline of the fossil fuels that there is an interest in rather developing solar energy. The utilization of solar energy consists of passive utilization and photoelectricity conversion. Kind of way, solar energy generation is an emerging renewable energy source. In a broad sense, solar energy is the source of many energy on the Earth, such as the wind energy, the chemical energy, the water potential energy, and so on. For millions of years, solar energy will be an inexhaustible source of ideal energy. Solar energy is generated by the fusion of hydrogen atoms inside, releasing huge amounts of nuclear energy, radiation energy from the sun. Most of the energy we need comes directly or indirectly from the sun. Plants release oxygen and absorb carbon dioxide through photosynthesis and convert solar energy into chemical energy that is stored in the plant body. Fossil fuels such as coal, oil, and natural gas are also formed by the evolution of animals. Plants buried in the ground in ancient times over a long geological period. In addition, wind power and so on are also converted from solar energy. The energy contained in the Earth itself usually refers to the energy associated with the heat of the Earth, and the energy associated with nuclear reactions. 这是4分钟。Solar energy is both a primary and a renewable energy source. It is rich in resources, can be free to use, and no transport, no pollution to the environment created a new form of life for human beings, so that the society and human beings into a area of energy saving and pollution reduction. The solar energy panel modules and devices that the general direct current electricity when exposed to sunlight. Solar energy consists of many cells made almost entirely of semiconductor materials, such as silicon. Since there is no moving part, it can be operated for a long time without causing any loss. Simple photovoltaic cell could power watches and computers, while more complex system could light houses, traffic system, heights, and the multi-rate systems, and be fed into the grid. A PV panel can be made into different shapes, and the modules can be connected to generate more power. In recent years, these panels can be used on rooftops, building surface, and even used as part of windows, skylights, or sheltering devices. These facilities are often referred to as a system attached to buildings. Installation of photovoltaic modules will fall in 2012 for the first time in more than a decade, as our cuts into perfect at the world's top 5, according to a survey globally. Homes and business will install 24 of the photovoltaic modules According to the average as system of 6 analysts complied Bloomberg, that is equivalent to about 20 nuclear reactors, but 10% less than the 2027.7 kW of the new PV installed last year. It also has the advantages and the disadvantages. When we talk about the advantages, such as the sun shines on the earth, there is no geographical restriction. Whether land or sea, whether mountain or island, everywhere can be directly developed and do not need mining and transportation, and it's harmless. The development and utilization of solar energy will not pollute the environment. It is one of the cleanest energy sources, which is extremely valuable today when environmental pollution is becoming more and more serious, and it's very huge. The amount of solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface each year is equivalent to about 13 trillion tons of coal, the largest amount of energy that can be developed in the world today. And it's very long time. According to the estimate of the current rate of nuclear energy produced by the sun, the storage of hydrogen is enough to last tens of billions of years, and the life of the Earth is about several billion years. In this sense, it can be said that the energy of the sun has a very long history, but it also has some disadvantages, such as the dispersion. Although the total amount of solar radiation reaching the Earth's surface is large, the energy flow density is very low. On the average, near the Tropic of Cancer in summer, when the weather is relatively clear, the maximum solar radiation increase is at noon, and the solar energy received on an area of 1 square meter to the direction of the sunlight is about 1000 kV on average. If the average day the night of the whole year, it is only about 200. In winter, it is only about half, and in cloudy days, it is only about first fifth. So the energy flow density is very low. Therefore, in the use of solar energy, to get a certain conversion power, often need a large area of a collection and conversion equipment. The cost is very high and established due to the limitation of natural conditions such as day and night, season, geographical latitude, and altitude, as well as the influence of random factors such as sunny, cloudy, cloud, and rain. The solar irradiance reaching a certain ground is both intermittent and extremely unstable, which increases the difficulty of large-scale application of solar energy. Continuous and stable in order to make solar energy and eventually be able to compete with conventional energy alternative. It is necessary to well solve the problem of energy storage, namely the sunning during the day, the sun radiant energy stored as far as possible.
Hello everyone, I'm Lily. I want to introduce nuclear energy to you. Nuclear energy is the energy released from the nucleus through a nuclear reaction. First, the development of its history. Since the discovery of electrons by British physicist Thomas. At the end of the 19th century, he began to discover the secret of the atomic nucleus. In 1896, the French physicist Becquerel discovered radioactive. 2 years later, Mrs. Crew and Miss Crew discovered radioactive elements. In 1905, Einstein proposed the mass-energy conversion formula. Finally, on December 2, 1942, the University of Chicago successfully launched the world's first nuclear reactor. There are two pictures about it. Well, the nuclear power energy generation method is a method of generating electricity using the heat energy released by nuclear fission or nuclear fusion in a nuclear reactor. Essentially, it's a process of energy transmission. The nuclear transmits to internal energy of water wave, to mechanical energy of generating root, and finally generates electrical energy for human use. There is a video about it. The nuclear energy is humans' most promising energy of the future. So there are two ways of nuclear reactor. One is the fission of the heavy element, and the other is the fusion of the light element. The fusion technology of heavy element has been applied in practice, while the fusion technology of light element is also being actively started. But both heavy and light elements have considerable reserve in the ocean. So many countries build nuclear power plants in coastal area. And I want to tell you both the strengths and weaknesses about the nuclear energy. First, the strengths. Large service. The nuclear fuel resource available for development on the Earth can provide more than 100,000 times the energy than fossil fuel can. The low cost of power generation. Less pollution. There's almost no emission of greenhouse gases and the other taskers gases. Safety. As we all know, nuclear pollution is a great danger to humans. However, since the first nuclear power plant was built, there are about 400 nuclear power plants on common line in the whole world, and they have been basically safe for more than 13 years. What's more, with the development of nuclear technology, nuclear plants will become more safety. Well, the weakness. There are a large amount of radioactive materials in the reactors of nuclear power plants. So, if they are released into the extra environment in an accident, they will cause harm to the ecology and the people. And last, I want to tell you the China's use of nuclear energy. Currently, about 47 nuclear power plants have been built in 17 regions in China. the most famous of which is the Qingshan nuclear power plant, which is known as the glory of the country. Last year, China's nuclear power generation accounted for about 5% of the total power generation, ranking third in the world in terms of nuclear power generation. Because of the massive advantages of large power generation and nuclear energy, the development of nuclear power in the future is a general trend for China, which is under the pressure for both development and environment.
Today, I'd like to talk about the electric energy. Electric energy is to use electricity to do work in various forms. Electric energy is a kind of economical, practical, clean, and easy to control and transform energy form. Electric energy is widely used in power, lighting, chemistry, textile, communication, broadcasting, and other fields. So, why we use electric energy? The first reason is more environmental pollution. This is the most prominent advantage of electric cars. Electric cars do not produce exhaust gas in the process of use, and there is no problem of air pollution compared with traditional cars. Some say that the secondary energy used by electric cars, electricity generated in coal-fired power plants, pollutes the atmosphere and simply transfers pollution from cities to suburbs. In fact, electric cars don't simply change the place of air pollution, they actually reduce it compared to conventional cars. Because of diversity is the power source of a lot of energy, like hydropower, wind energy, solar energy, tidal energy, nuclear energy can be converted to electricity efficiently. Even if the electric car of all electricity from coal-fired power plants, the overall energy efficiency is higher than conventional fuel car city. That is to use electric cars or reduce the most air pollution. In addition, by charging at night to avoid peak demand, energy waste can be further reduced. The second reason is no noise, low noise. This is the most intuitive feature of electric cars. Now the noise of automobiles in big cities has become a serious pollution. Reducing noise pollution is also a task for the automobile industry in the future. Vehicle engine noise is the main source of noise in the process of driving, and compared with fuel vehicles, electric vehicles have an absolute advantage in this aspect. It is basically quiet in running, especially suitable for the need to reduce noise pollution in the city road. Another reason is high efficiency. This is the most significant feature of the energy utilization of electric vehicles. In the city, there are many vehicles on the road, and the traffic lights are often encountered, so the vehicles must stop and start constantly. For traditional fuel cars, this not only means a lot of energy consumption, but also means more exhaust emissions. When an electric vehicle is used, the kinetic energy of the vehicle can be regenerated into electric energy through the magneto-electric effect and stored in a battery or other energy accumulator when slowing down and stopping. In this way, there is no need to leave the motor idling when parking, which can greatly improve the efficiency of energy use and reduce air pollution.
Oh, I think our sharing is very useful, informative, and interesting.
But I still feel that we have some areas
where we haven't got it right.
What do you mean? What else can we talk?
I got it. We can discuss energy security. Let's do it! Faced with the coming energy crisis, the whole world has realized that it is necessary to adopt the strategy of saving energy on the one hand and developing new energy on the other. The development of green energy is an important way to solve the energy crisis. Solar energy, geothermal energy, wind energy, ocean energy, nuclear energy, and biological energy are called renewable energy existing in nature because this energy is less harmful to the environment, so it is also called green energy. Developing green energy is an important way to solve the energy crisis. In recent years, in the face of energy crisis, many countries are making great efforts to research and develop the use of green energy, new technology, and have made considerable achievements. At present, the proportion of green energy in the global energy structure has reached 15% to 20%. Develop nuclear energy to fundamentally solve the energy crisis. At present, scientists are studying and developing alternative energy sources such as nuclear energy, wind energy, solar energy, geothermal energy, biological energy, and hydroelectric power. At present, the most promising new energy source is nuclear power. And there are two types of nuclear energy, fission and fusion. Exploitable fossil fuel resources can last for thousands of years, and nuclear fusion resources can last for hundreds of millions of years, which can fundamentally solve the energy crisis.
Hello, it's still me, Lily. I want to talk about the impact of energy crisis. First, the economical security. There have been 4 energy crises in history, all of which caused economical recession. The outbreak of the energy crisis is all related to changes in oil price. With the rise in oil price, industries that use petroleum as raw materials are first restricted. These industries will affect downstream industries due to a rising cost. Such a chain reaction will lead to an increase in overall economical operating costs, and all aspects of food, clothing, housing, and transportation will not be spared. Second, food security. Food is the most important resource for people's livelihood. Looking at the world, there are still people who are not full of food because of the expansion of the global population. People's demand for food is getting higher and higher, and due to the abnormal climate change and global warming, the yield of many crops has decreased. The rapid population growth, global warming, and abnormal climate are all related to massive use of fossil fuels since the 21st century.